Okay. Child, let me gather myself before I drag this hole. So now, speaking of black people who performative, like that relationship with what was it, name? Jonathan Majors and Megan Good. Let's talk about this phony ass. So there was an article that came out in the Guardian that pissed me all the way off from Billy Porter. So I don't know if y'all know this, but Billy Porter, I think he was promoting Our Son, the movie that he has with my other husband, Luke Evans. That is a fine ass fucking Welsh man. I was like, I would the nasty. Okay, let me not get a little into that. Let's focus on like I haven't think now I'm saying they having dirty thoughts about Luke Evans. But anyway, so he has a movie, I think he was promoting it or whatever, and he's over, I believe, he did an interview with a interview, and it's an article with The Guardian, and he was talking about his upcoming film that he's going to be doing with about James Baldwin. Now, a lot of people don't know who James Baldwin is. He's a very popular writer, openly gay black man. In the same range of like a Zora Neale Hurston, Alice Walker, Bayard Rustin, like very much political in a lot of his stance. And I'm sitting there like, okay, Billy, now if you're going to be doing this, and you another one that like to hunch white men, and if y'all know James Baldwin, his stance on a lot of white people in America, and America's no place for a black man and that sort of thing. Like if you're real familiar with James Baldwin, then you would know what his stance is on a lot of political things, particularly his thoughts on Palestine. And he was someone who was very pro-Palestine, and they dragged Billy because Billy's pro-Israel. And people's in his comments. So I'm gonna read y'all the paragraph. And then we're gonna get to some of these tweets that had me gagging. So Porter describes his Baldwin biopic as sprawling. First of all, that word, I was like, no, ma'am, but let's continue. And says that a piece of the novelist's writing will be used as a framing device, though which to explore his whole life. Baldwin, of course, was a strong advocate for the rights of Palestinians. Porter has been staunchly supportive of Israel in the past, opposing the cultural boycott of a film festival in Tel Aviv in 2021, which I did not know about. And he was one of the 700 celebrities who signed an open letter last year asking Hollywood to support Israel in its retaliation against Gaza after Hamas's attack on October 7th. When I asked Porter how he plans to navigate Baldwin's relationship with the Palestinian rights movement in the script, given his own support of Israel, he quickly clarifies his position, saying, "First and foremost, I'm supportive of a two-state solution." Problem there also, but let's continue. The second thing is, this is not my hill, and I'm not going to die on it. It's not mine. I'm not Jewish, nor am I Palestinian. What's going on over there is horrific. The choices that we in America have made are wrong. Please don't make me the poster child for that. I don't want to be in the conversation because I don't know enough about it. Now, if you're doing a whole documentary, or not a documentary, if you're doing a whole movie on James Baldwin, correct? And his whole staunch beliefs on being pro-Palestine and stuff. How you going to say this is not my hill to die on? You're going to have to die on that hill when you make this movie, when you direct it. I believe he's co-writing it, and he's going to play the character. So it just feels like to me that here go Billy Porter looking for his moment. Oh, I want to do this because I want to win an Oscar. So and you thinking that just because you a black queen, then you a black gay man, that gives you like, oh, who else is going to play? Because he did say that in the article. If not me, who? Coleman Domingo? How about that? But then again, Coleman Domingo did just play Bayard Rustin, and he's playing Michael Jackson's father. But why not? We've had actors who have played a multiple. Look, the dearly departed Chadwick Boseman played a plethora of different civil rights leaders, as well as David Oyelowo. So if they could play it, then Coleman Domingo could play it too. I just feel like Billy Porter is so full of shit. He's full of himself and thinks that just because he's a black gay man, that he has the right, a black gay man with horrible ass, but child, I'm gonna read him on them bottom teeth. It's like, how you got bottom teeth and they don't match the top? So he says, I'm in support of my Jewish friends and my Palestinian friends. It's a two-state solution that's been going on for thousands of years over there. I don't know. He says, letting out a nervous giggle because you don't know what the fuck you talking about and think you're going to bullshit and bamboozle your way through this article. But I'm glad it's coming out because the people was reading him in the comments. But let's continue. He said, "What I do know is that we don't need to continue to be bombing over there. I know we should stop doing that. I do believe that." And the Palestinians, not Palestinians, what are the people called who started that shit? The extremists? Child, they're called Hamas. But okay. And I think people seem to forget that the reason behind the whole situation, why not justifying, and this is why I always got to play is, I don't necessarily agree with I don't agree with what Hamas is doing. But what Hamas is doing, they're an extremist group, and this is a retaliation to all the abuse that they have received from Israel over the long run. Now, the way they're going about it and stuff is like, I get it. Retaliation is not violence. Don't beget violence. I get that, but people seem to forget that, and the things behind Hamas and everything that they're doing, it is kind of overshadowing the bigger picture. These people over in Palestine have been abused and treated like shit and pushed to the side while Israel continues to colonize a lot of their colony for not it didn't even start in October 7th. This is the part also that Billy Porter doesn't realize. This has been going on for over 4 decades. Like, it's been going on for as before I was even alive on this earth. So for you to not even be aware of that, did he just learn about? Oh, you just went through a whole. Oh, who can I play next in the movie? Oh, James Baldwin. He was gay and he was black, right? Let me play him. But you're not even aware. Like, at least you're gonna come to an interview. I would think that you would be aware of who this person is and what they stood for. You don't even know, and he says it in the article because he was told the name was Hamas. Thank you. See, I don't even know. All I know is that the extremists came in and did something that was horrific. And then they would see this when you go listen to the Western fucking media. And then they retaliated. Oh, so it's just that simple. So y'all see how I get heated when it comes to politics. Now the retaliation is a little overkill now, dog. But what are we at war at all? Why are we at war at all? It's just not about them. And that's everywhere. We're always at war. It breaks my heart. I don't know what to say and I don't know what to do other than hug you and say I'm sorry. And what could we do to fix it? I'm in support of peace. F and peace. Then goes on to say, I'm not James Baldwin. Oh, this was the paragraph that pissed me all the way the fuck off. Let's get to it. So at this point, Porter is the most worked up he's ever been through our conversation, but in a split second, he composed himself. There's nothing to navigate. I'm not James Baldwin. He's a character. So I have to be true to the character. I don't know what he was talking about in the 40s, 50s, 60s. It's 2024 now. I don't have the history to even know what the version of the Israel Palestine conflict was when he was around. The same as it is fucking today. It hasn't changed. It's not a part of the script. His civil rights work in America is what we're focused on. More than that, more than what he brought about the crisis in the middle. I'm done. I'm done with this queen. I'm done with her. Burn that bitch at the stake. I cannot with this hoe no more. Like, I'm just angry because it's sort of like, oh, that was the part that gagged me when he said he's a character. James Baldwin's a real life fucking person. He's not a character that you could just wear as a suit and then just take off when you say cut. He was a real person. If you're going to take on that responsibility, you need to know who the fuck you're dealing with and who you're talking about before you go and jump on something and decide, oh, I'm going to play this person. I'm playing this character. You're playing a real life person. That's like Angela Bassett coming in about Tina Turner. Oh, I'm playing a character. No, you're playing a real life person based off of a book that she wrote about what happened to her with Ike and all the her years of being in the Ike Cats, Ike and Ike Cats. And then when she went solo and having no money to, you're not playing a character, you're playing a real life person. It's like Jafar Jackson playing his uncle. He's playing a real life person. You're playing a real life person. You're not playing a character. This is why I can't with that phony ass queen. But child, this was the guy that got me. Shout out to Cum Cattrall. I'm like, ooh, that's a fabulous name. Because when he said the shit about I'm in support of my Jewish friends, and my Palestinian friends, this person said, I can't say I had the highest of hopes for Billy Porter thoughts on the Middle East, but good Lord. Then the Guy Lodge, I'm gonna get the Comic Trials post in a second. It said, call me crazy, but maybe he shouldn't be writing a Baldwin, almost said James Bond, a James Baldwin biopic then. Tom Cattrall said this dumb little queen needs to stay home with his Warby Parker husband. First of all, he's divorced, and start actually reading James Baldwin. Then another article put read that Billy Porter interview and it sucks so bad. The level of disrespect to James Baldwin and his person and his legacy is almost unfathomable. It's not part of the script. Absolutely stupid fucking idiot behavior. Another person, let me see, wrote, I mean, they kind of look alike. I'll say that. The Billy Porter interview is a lot of things, but I found this posturing around this subject both alarming and infuriating, especially for someone depicting and writing script about James Baldwin while staunchly supporting Israel. Get somebody else to do it. And I agree. Like I said, Coleman Domingo, you better find him after he finished playing Joe Jackson and offered to him. And it says Alexander Dury says James Baldwin was pro-Palestine and said that the state of Israel was not created for the salvation of the Jews; it was created for the salvation of Western interests. To say that Billy Porter will be writing and playing Baldwin in a new biopic is a massive insult to his legacy. Another person put, if this interview was anything to go by, Billy Porter's James Baldwin biopic will be the same as Maestro. Ooh, let's talk about that because they dragged what's his name? His phony ass down to the ground. Um, what's his name? The one that like shitting on the toilet in front of his damn kids? Bradley Cooper. Yeah, he said that in the interview. And like to walk around his house butt ass naked. Have y'all checked the children? Extra points if you know what movie that line is from. Um, is that in this interview of Anything to Go By, Billy Porter's James Baldwin biopic will be the same as Maestro, a depoliticized, opportunistic story that is far more invested in the filmmaker and his credentials than a real man. And they hit the nail on the head because that's why Bradley Cooper wasn't out here winning no Oscars, not only an Oscar but any of the awards because they felt like like it was him filming Maestro, and that is a great comparison because I think I implied that before. This feels like just something that same thing with Maestro. Billy Porter just want to jump. I mean, not Billy Porter. Bradley Cooper want to jump on a character playing a gay man. Leonard Bernstein, a musician, someone that made a lot of music and stuff. Who's also gay, but married to a woman. Y'all went and jumped on this whole situation because you thought, oh, I'm gonna play this gay man and I'm gonna get prosthetics and the wrinkles so I can look old at one point, the nose and all this other stuff, and I'm gonna get this Oscar. It just felt very paint by numbers. Like, oh, look, I'm really working hard for this because I want one so bad. And the Oscar people, they smell like like a shark smelling blood in the water. It's all no, bitch. We know what you up to. We're not giving it to you. And this is what it's giving me with Billy Porter, because Billy has an Emmy, Billy has a Tony. I don't know if he got a Grammy, but I know he won the Oscar. But you're not getting it with this movie, especially after this interview. And then this also reminded me of something that I totally forgot about this. Should have been on his ass from that moment that he was at I think it was at the Emmys, and he was with all them damn Emmys for playing Pray Tell over at Pose. And he went and said, with the trans character, y'all need to wait y'all turn. Bitch, they've been waiting all their life for these opportunities. No other show have y'all ever seen where trans women were the center and the focal point of a series, and they weren't winning no awards. But here come this old black sissy playing a sassy ass queen and getting all the Emmys because Hollywood is used to that. They love when a sassy black woman or a sassy pervert wins an award. I mean, does that in a show, whatever, because it's entertaining. That's something that's always been in the ether to see that sort of thing. So you want off of that. Now, don't get me wrong, Billy Porter definitely ate that role, but they should have been spreading the wealth. Like MJ should have been winning Oscar, not an Oscar, because she hasn't done an Oscar-worthy role, but MJ should have been winning Emmys. My girl Electra, during that final season, because she definitely stepped into that Electra role. Dominique Jackson, she should have been winning Emmys. A lot of the girls should have been up there. Should have won, but they didn't. So that's my overall thoughts on this. Let me know what y'all think down below. But you know what? This shit got me tight. And I was like, if y'all can tell, especially when I was like, when I read that article, I was livid. And I was like, I need to bring this up on this show. So let me know what y'all think down in the comments below.